Hey, bulls and bears. It looks to be that the real economic storm is about to begin. Now, so far, what we've seen is just the beginnings of this perfect storm of economic situations combining for one massive, looks to be like a real bust ahead. Now, it's not a deflationary bust, unfortunately. People say, JJ, when are prices going to fall? You've been saying this is going to go bust. No, a bust is worse when it's inflationary. A deflationary bust, when prices fall, that's a good thing. That's called a correction. The worst kind of collapse or bust is the collapse of your purchasing power. What does that mean? That means rising prices. So we're about to see the real economic crisis, the real economic collapse begin, but it's not a deflationary collapse. I wish it was. I wish it was. That would be a correction again, but it's an inflationary collapse, a collapse in your purchasing power, a collapse in your dollar. So we're going to start seeing evictions increase. The federal jobless benefits expired. We're going to start seeing spending dropping off from the pullback and the benefits being handed out. That's going to create more job losses. The big storm is about to begin. Let's talk about evictions here first. Starting right here, this is out of NPR. Now, we've talked about this, but it's good to see a major news outlet report this. Why are investors buying up mobile home parks and evicting residents? We've talked about this before. You live in a mobile home park. Even if you own your home, you pay off your home, you still do not own the land under your home, under your feet. And you can get evicted still. And with the cost of moving a home and with the lack of options for moving the mobile homes or modular homes out of that area, out of that park, a lot of people just end up losing their homes, even homes that are paid off, unless they can find someone else to sell it to before they default on the lot rent. The problem is a lot of new buyers are reluctant to buy a home in a park because the lot rents keep increasing. And let's look at the story right here. Investors are buying up mobile home parks with access to the Fed window with help of government entities, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And it's increasing here as we approach, or as we have ended the national eviction moratorium. Now we see investors coming in more heavy-handed, buying up more parks and raising lot rent. From this article, it's happening all over the country. A lot of mom and pops who've been running mobile home parks for decades are retiring and looking to sell. Big investors are swooping in to buy them up and charging hundreds or thousands of people like Mary more money, and that could add up to bigger profits. But it gets worse. Listen to this next part. The government is basically turbocharging this trend. Here's how it works. A company raises rates and fees in the park. That makes the park more valuable, so they can now borrow more money against it. Kind of like when you refi your house and get cash out of the deal. They pull out, let's say, millions of dollars and go buy another mobile home park, and it's leveraged again and again. And as this article points out, it's a cascade of borrowed money. And often these loans are backed by the US government. See, the government provides very low-cost debt for these investors to get cash to go out and buy these additional parks. And these loans have mega low interest rates because they're guaranteed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, government-sponsored entities. All right, so when you look at this headline, you can then say that the Fed, the money printers, are facilitating getting people evicted and facilitating corporate investors coming in and buying these mobile home parks and then raising the rents on the people, the lot rents. So a lot of times when you hear about a program that's supposed to help people, like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, supposed to help with affordable housing, and we see FHA loan with lower down payments, but a lot of times these programs do more harm than they help. It's just the opposite in many cases. All right, more on evictions. Recent article here out of The Atlantic. The coming wave of evictions is more than a housing crisis. And think about this, even when the eviction moratorium was in place, the federal one, the national one, homelessness was still increasing. If you look over the past few years in California and many other states, homelessness has been increasing. So what's going to happen now with the end of this nationwide moratorium? Yes, there's still states and different areas that are going to have their own version of the moratorium, but things can only get worse from here, and it's looking to be just another part of this economic storm that we're going to continue to see unfold here as we go into the fall and winter here in 2021. And combine that with rising prices everywhere you look. This is out of Reuters. World food prices jump in August. So it's not just in the US, it's globally. Farmers getting decimated, climate issues, crops being devastated, supply chain disruptions, labor shortage. This is the perfect storm, again, coming together, economic crisis, many different things coming together, the evictions, the end of the supplemental unemployment benefits, the rising prices, the cost of living skyrocketing, more corporations, institutions coming in, buying land, buying homes. What are they going to do when it's profits over people? They're going to raise the rents. They're going to raise the costs on the people. It's a profits over people economic system that we're in right now. Rising prices everywhere you look. BBC reporting IKEA struggles with supply problems due to driver shortage. And what's that going to mean? Less items, less products is going to mean higher prices. They're going to raise their prices. I bought all kinds of stuff from IKEA in my home, and it has been historically a pretty low cost place to buy a lot of different types of home furnishings, and it's going to be higher prices now. What's the deal with homes? Well, shortages of supplies and workers will delay the rebuilding in the Gulf. So what's going to happen? More people from these devastated areas, just like we've reported before, are going to be going to other parts of the country looking for new housing. And guess what? That's going to drive up prices, even in areas where prices weren't going up that quickly for apartments and homes. You're going to see now this new surge in demand because the devastation that's happening on the Gulf and other parts of the country, the fires out west here. So another part of the storm, not a deflationary collapse. Again, unfortunately, that would be better. This is going to be inflationary, a collapse of your purchasing power, rising prices, home prices, rents are going to continue to rise. So prepare yourself. You may want to think very, very carefully about where you're choosing to live. I personally would not be buying another property here in California. And a couple years ago, I sold a investment condo, and I'm glad I did, because I might have had a non-paying tenant and may not have been able to evict that tenant, and it may have led me to bankruptcy, right? So even though home prices have went up, on one hand you say it's a good investment, home prices are going up, but on the other hand, if it's an investment property and you get a tenant that's not paying and you can't evict that tenant, you may very well be a landlord regretting buying investment properties. But the corporations, the mega corporations, they will have no problems, because for every non-paying tenant, they can just raise the rent on the tenants that are paying to regain those losses and probably even make more in the end. So this is where we're at, people. Perfect storm coming up later this year. It's just begun, in my opinion. So let's fasten our seatbelts and prepare. Stay well, everybody. We'll talk to you very soon. Thanks for being on this channel. Please like and subscribe if you like what we talk about here, and that'll help us put out more reports. And again, thanks for being here. Stay well. Peace.